Hello!
Hi everyone, and welcome to Project Adopt Live.
We're working with animal welfare groups to showcase our little animal friends who need a new home and share with you some great information for pet owners and animal lovers along the way. I'm Edward.
And I am Joe, and after that I need to refer to my script because I know my own name. But yes, hi, I'm Joe, and there will be 3 prizes for cats and kitten owners up for grabs today. And so please do stay tuned with us. How it works is very, very simple. The fastest person to type in the answer in the comments to some questions, which we will be asking live, will be the winners of these special prizes proudly sponsored by Yappy Pets. So for the winners, do look out in your message inbox as our volunteers will be contacting you regarding whether or not you've won, as well as how to collect your prize.
Don't worry, we will tell you that it's giveaway time. Get ready to type in the answer, right? We won't surprise you. And the animal welfare group we're featuring today is Project Luni. They are a non-profit organization which focuses on rehoming and caring for street cats in Singapore, and they've done it since 2016. They focus on 4 pillars: fostering, socializing, rehoming kittens and cats, and daily feeding of street cats and medical care for street cats, and TNR. We will ask them about that later on.
I think that's more than 4 pillars. I mean, there's 4 pillars, but
no, it's because
you broke up the sentence
I broke it up badly, yeah. But
anyway.
We'll explain them later. They can explain much better than I ever can.
Yes, and speaking of darling little cats that you'll be meeting today, you might be hearing some very talkative ones in the background. You will get to not just hear them, but meet them virtually very, very soon. Because with us from Project Luni today are Helene and Sherry. Here, please say hi to the camera, Helene and Sherry. All right, this is Helene and that's Sherry.
Hi guys.
Thanks so much for joining us today. So you have 6 beautiful felines who need a home. And the first of us with us today is Ella. Could you tell us a little bit about Ella?
Oh, wow.
Yes, yeah, we're really lucky to have Ella with us. Kelly.
Oh, no, Kelly.
Sorry. We've changed the order around just to keep you on your toes.
Okay,
So
I am
this is in
suitably...
fact Kelly. Ella's going to be coming up shortly.
Right.
So Kelly is 1 year old.
Okay.
And she has been with our wonderful foster Sherry for how long now?
For 1 month.
1
Oh,
month.
thank you so much for doing that,
Yes,
Sherry.
Yeah,
So
we're really lucky. Sherry's, we've got a number of fosterers and we couldn't really operate without having fosterers, and we're lucky enough to have a number of them here with us today.
Oh, that's fantastic. I mean, maybe then before we move on to the introduction of Kelly, then can you tell us, so you, of course, Project Luni focuses on fostering as well as eventually rehoming kittens and cats. And of course, the fosterers will help with the socialization for their eventual finding of their forever homes as well.
Yes.
And so can you tell us, like, how did, Sherry, I mean, how did you get involved in this fostering program?
Okay, so it started with 3 cats. So
Okay.
I actually reached out to Project Luni and then we asked, like, you know, whether you can help me with rehoming these 3 cats that were rescued, and then they kindly agreed. So
I see.
that's
So you
where-
rescued the 3 cats?
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
you got
wow.
the support of Project Luni
Yes.
to eventually help to rehome
Yeah.
them, but you're very attached to this one.
All of them actually.
And are 2 more of the cats with you today as well?
No, I have 1 more cat with me.
Okay.
So that's Charlie. He's not here today, but he's also up for adoption.
I see. Oh, thank
If we could have, we would have bought all of the cats today, but it'd be a
Right.
very long session.
No, yeah, and there's a social distancing of maximum of 8 cats.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Oh,
But Kelly is really special in the fact that she actually has a medical condition.
Okay.
And I'm sure that many of our viewers would have heard of lots of things with acronyms. So FIV, FELV. She actually has FELV. She was diagnosed quite recently. It's a bit of a tough virus, but we're lucky in the sense that it looks like Kelly contracted it when she was an adult because she is 12 months old.
Okay.
And so she could actually live a really successful, beautiful, healthy life for a number of years
Right.
before she starts showing symptoms.
I see.
And we have some other kittens here today also with FELV. We wanted to give a voice to say that there's lots of challenges out there, you know, in our environment with cats having issues, being abandoned, hoarding cases, but all cats deserve a chance in a wonderful home. So we don't want to just focus on the pretty little cute ones all the time.
I mean, she's pretty and little and cute.
She is, and for the audience, she's making a bit of noise now because she can see the gorgeous Ella over there, and she's clearly interested.
She's very interested.
But watching her earlier, she was incredibly cuddly.
Yeah.
she's a snuggle bug.
She's a
Yes.
snuggle bun.
Yeah, so you know, if you're in bed, she'll just like cuddle beside you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
even
wonderful.
if you change position, she'll just go over and she'll just.
That's really sweet.
That
Yeah,
is really
She's really sweet. But because of her condition, it's best that it's really important she's in a home with no other cats unless they also have FELV.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that there are people out there who have got some cats with that who might be looking to add another cat to their household.
Definitely.
But as you can see, she's beautifully healthy, she's well fed, well loved, she's in great condition, and I think she would make a wonderful home for a special family out there.
I definitely agree. She seems very, very sweet and very.
She does.
She's and I understand like from her character bio, which she put out in like her dating bio sort of information. She's very playful as well.
She is, and actually she's been playing over there. Her focus right now really is on Ella. So Ella is also, as you can see, this is the best thing. So Sherry's been walking around along with one of our other fosterers, Andreas,
Yeah.
with Kelly on a lead. So it's not just dogs, guys. We can actually have cats on leads, and for everyone in the room, it's been pretty impressive, I think, because they walk beautifully.
Yes, they
I mean, they
do.
may occasionally climb up something, but and you do get a lot of looks when you're out in the park walking a cat.
Oh, no, but that's fantastic. I think you're absolutely right, Helene, that a lot of people think that you can't walk your cat. Or like if a cat is just a house cat, it has to stay in the house and it can't go out. And if you don't drive, it's like, how am I going to get my cat to the nearby vet? And that's sometimes a big concern. Hello! And sometimes that's a really big concern for cat owners. But the fact is that, I mean, as part of the socialization as well, our project Luni does actually train a lot of the cats that are in their care to walk on leads.
We do.
Why are you taking her away?
Joe is so happy. Well, I actually do want to ask Helene about some of the cat owners right now who are watching the show. They're like, wait a minute, I've never tried walking my cat. If I've never done it before, what are some things I need to keep in mind?
Well, I could answer that, but I think we are very lucky enough to have one of the most experienced cat behaviouralists coming up next.
Ooh.
And so I'm going to put my fellow named person, Helene, on the spot. I'm sure she can address that. But from my own experience, I think it's good if you can start them off younger. If you do have an older cat, just try popping the harness on at home.
Right.
And they will be a little uncomfortable, but they will get used to it. So get them used to it at home, get them, feeling comfortable, give them treats.
Yes.
Boiled chicken often works, a
Oh,
treat.
wow.
And then
Okay.
start walking them around in your environment at home. And actually Andreas will be coming up shortly. I think you also started doing this, and so he can probably elaborate as well. Sherry, how did you start?
Oh,
So
wow.
I just put the leash on her, and then I'll just give her some treats, so some positive reinforcement, and then she's pretty okay with it.
Yeah.
I'll just put on the leash, and then I'll just walk her around the room. Yeah, so she's pretty. I mean, she accepts the leash, and she seems pretty comfortable. in it.
Yeah, it's great.
How much chicken did you have to expend before?
Quite a bit.
Okay. But anyway, it's fantastic. So she has been pre-trained, everybody.
Yes,
By Sherry and Helene. So I mean, if you're curious what it's like to have a cat that walks on a lead and who's extremely cuddly and very, very affectionate and very inquisitive, as you can see, she's checking out all the other cats in the room right now, possibly looking out for signs of any chicken in hiding.
Yes. And look at her beautiful colour. So you've got all cats in one. You've got a ginger kitty here. You've got a bit of a white. You've got the whole mix. I've had a calico myself, and they're incredible. They're very strong characters, beautiful girl.
Yeah.
She's very curious as well.
She is very adorable, and I did want to. I think some of our viewers would be curious about FELV. So of course, it is otherwise known as feline leukemia.
Yes.
The fact is that I understand that a lot of cats which have FELV, while many of them will show symptoms, a lot of them also manage to fight off the virus by themselves.
Yes, it's a really complicated virus, and so we could talk about it for quite some time. I think that the key things are is they can be quite healthy for some time, and when they do start to show symptoms, and there's no guarantee of when that's going to be. So it could be a year, it could be 2, it could be 3, and the symptoms will, there'll be lethargy, probably some weight loss, there could be diarrhea. Then you've already got a vet who's helping you, and then you go and you get advice as to the best next steps. But this beautiful girl could be in someone's home for the next 3-4 years, we don't know, and she deserves to have the best chance of a wonderful home. So do the kittens that are going to be coming up shortly. So we really wanted to raise the profile about this because you hear a lot about it. People get concerned. A question probably some of the viewers will have is, can I get it? Can my dog get it? Can it make me sick? Absolutely not. It cannot. It's like if you've got chicken pox, you can't give it to your cat. This is the same, and you can't give it to your dog. It is contagious amongst other cats, though. So we have to point that out. But naturally, with Luni, we pride ourselves on providing support to all of our new adopters and fosterers. And so we would help people along that journey and be with them the whole way to give them the support.
That's fantastic. Okay, once again, at the moment, Kelly is a perfectly healthy cat. She does have the feline leukemia virus. However, the symptoms might not manifest for years, and currently she really wants a forever home and an owner who loves her and cuddles her and perhaps occasionally takes her out on walks with her beautiful leash. And will you even throw in this leash?
Totally, yeah, we'll throw in the leash.
She comes with a free leash, Singaporeans, free gift.
Okay, we've got a question from a viewer. Michael is asking, Helene, if I want to adopt a cat, what are the things I need to prepare?
What a great question. We should have thought of that earlier. So we have a list of things and we shared that list with people. Some of the things you want to do first, make sure that your house is meshed. So we often get the comment made, well, I've had cats before and they've never jumped. They've never jumped off a balcony. No, often cats aren't suicidal. But they might be sitting on a windowsill and they see a bird. There's a noise. And I'm sure that all of us as animal lovers and many of us on Facebook see that this happens every day in Singapore. Some tragedy has happened and a cat is found and it's awful. So we make sure it has to be meshed, number one. Then you have to make sure that you have good food, good clean water, toys, litter tray, litter. You can get a bed, but we've all bought beautiful beds and then they will go and sleep anywhere else but on the cat bed. And you just need time and commitment and patience. You can take it. Kelly is as confident and friendly as she is, she might get into her new environment and she's going to be a bit nervous at first. So we ask people to dedicate one room and then gradually expand the area.
Right.
Yeah. But sometimes we also have some cats, I think Ella is probably one of them, that she could go to a house quite quickly and probably have the run of the house within a day.
Right.
She'd be extremely confident.
So when you say just prepare one room, what do you mean? As in like isolate her in that room?
Yes, you keep her so that she's familiar. So she, for example, in this case with Kelly, has been with Sherry for a month. She knows Sherry's house, the smells, the sights, the sounds.
Right.
So when you take her from that environment and put her into a new home with her new family, she's going to miss Sherry, but she's going to miss everything else. So we would try and give some sort of familiarity. The same food, for example, maybe a T-shirt that Sherry's been wearing for familiar smells.
Right.
So we like to make it as seamless as possible.
Oh, that's wonderful. Hello, baby. Okay, I'm very happy right now.
So if you'd like to adopt Kelly, right now there will be a QR code that you can scan, and also you can just enter it in the comments or get in touch with us. So scan the QR code right now for the adoption form. Kelly is a beautiful, healthy, happy. Oh, look at her! She's so happy.
Yeah. And very confident.
She's very confident. So I mean, certain cats, they take a bit longer to get used to environments. She seems very curious very quickly.
Yeah,
she's never been here before.
Yeah, I think within moments she would be asleep on someone's desk, lying on a keyboard.
My goodness.
Yes.
I love her personality.
So once again, I mean, please, we are asking you here, both from Project Luni as well as Hope for Animals. There are a lot of cats in Singapore. Once they've been diagnosed with feline leukemia, the owners or the current owners at the moment just go, oh, I don't want a sick cat. And they just sort of abandon them and they leave them to starve on the streets. Luckily, of course, Sherry rescued, just like that. Sherry rescued Kelly and brought Kelly home to foster. And we are really looking for her forever home because she has such a wonderful personality. At the moment, she's totally healthy. She might have certain symptoms like lethargy. She might get like lethargy or as you what are they?
A bit of weight loss, but that could be a year, 2 years, 3 years down the track.
And they might manifest later on in Kelly's life, but at the moment, she deserves a home. And even when she does, or she might not manifest the symptoms, some cats never do, she still deserves a forever home to somebody who's willing to talk to her, because she's quite a noisy cat sometimes, and she's very curious, and to give her cuddles and love and pets. So, and once again, she comes with this very attractive, sort of a salmon pink leash, which is a complement to different furniture tones and
yes,
interior
indeed.
design. So please do drop us a message. We have a QR code that will be appearing again on the screen shortly. If you'd like to adopt this gorgeous, beautiful kitty and give her forever home, please do.
And we do have other kitties too. So this is Kelly. She's the first of quite a few we have. And next up we have Ella.
Yes.
Hey!
We say bye to Kelly for now.
Bye,
Kelly.
Kelly will go off on her own. I'm not worried.
And here's
Don't keep me
Ella.
here. Hi,
Come
Ella.
on over, Ella.
Hi, and Ella is being brought to us by her foster, Andreas.
Yes.
Hi.
And I've just realised, and this is one of the things that we would point out, is because I've been patting Kelly, as much as I want to give Ella a big cuddle, I'm not going to.
Yeah. Okay.
And because we have some other FELV kittens coming up, so it's very hard for me not to molest the cat. But yes, she's...
Ella, how old is Ella, Andreas?
Ella's about 2 years old.
Okay. That's
So
wonderful.
it's still quite a young one, but quite a curious one and active.
Oh.
Right, yes, no, she has been very active, and she's been very quiet now,
Yes.
because she's been talking non-stop for the past hour.
And we're looking at her profile, and it does say that she is perfect for a first-time cat owner. Why would you say that?
What would you say then, Andreas?
So I got her very quickly, and when I started fostering, and she really just came home to my place and was like going around. She was not really hiding under the sofa or under the bed.
Wow.
Really easy going.
Oh, wow.
A little bit picky with eating on the food, but a little bit a diva on that one. But otherwise, very easy going cat.
Oh, fantastic. And it also says in her description that she is a little lady lap cat.
Yeah, so you go and watch TV, and then she comes, snuggles on the side, or she wants to sit on you, right? And then you need to pet. And in the morning, so you sleep, then you wake up, then she comes to your chest, and you need to pet her first.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
wow.
goodness.
Can I just ask Andreas, why are you not keeping her forever?
Yeah, I get this question a lot.
Yeah, she seems to really love you.
I mean, I think fostering is a good thing to do, and I think I will not give it to the first one just that comes along.
Okay.
It really have to be a good home, and I think it's when I feel it's the right adopter.
Yeah.
She will have a perfect home, and I will be happy for her.
That is
Of course, a
fantastic.
little bit sad at the beginning, but
But you want to open your heart and home to other cats to
Yes,
foster
correct.
as well.
That's the key point, because I also said, because Andreas was sending me pictures of them together, and I was like, oh, we don't want to break you up.
Yeah.
But when we find great fosterers, like we have with Andreas, with Jenny who's coming, Caroline and Sherry who you met, we want to be able to find beautiful homes for these guys, and I have sterilised my hands, so I am going to pat her. And we want Andreas then to be able to take the next cat. And the next cat, as much as we want her to stay with him. So it's really
Right.
hard.
Yeah.
And it's hard when they leave.
Yeah.
I had my own tears 2 or 3 weeks ago when 4 of my little kittens went off. And I do let the people know there is going to be some tears. They're happy tears. But then we're really happy because we can take the next lot in.
Oh,
That's
that is
fantastic.
great.
Yeah.
We actually have a question from... Sorry, go on.
Go ahead, no, you go ahead.
We have a question from a viewer who's asking about the adoption process. What is the process like for adoption?
Right, well, so for example, if you were interested to adopt beautiful Ella, we would, or any of the cats that are here today, then you put in your application. So I think, as you've mentioned, we've got a QR code here. In a normal process, we also have that you would go onto the Project Luni Facebook page or Instagram page, and there's a button that you click and you fill out an application form. And they're questions just asking people about your experience. Have you, obviously had cats before? If you were going to go to another country, what would the process be? We would obviously always want people to take their family member with them, being their cat, and their readiness. And then we look at those, we analyse them, we contact the people, and if it feels like a right fit, then they come and they meet the cats and the kittens, and we interview each other. So we're interviewing them and they're also interviewing the cat.
Yeah.
It's got to be a good match.
Yeah.
So we don't get upset if people come and they say, I don't quite feel the connection. We want that honesty.
Absolutely.
We want the homes to go to the perfect family.
Yeah.
Andreas just mentioned when you feel like it's a good match, and it is an instinctive, intuitive thing.
Right.
We have wonderful families, but it may not be the right match. The cat might be a little bit too timid, and the children, for example, might love to play. And we think, all right, we might need a cat that's a little bit more playful.
Right.
But we have a really good network of fosterers. We've got many WhatsApp groups, so we're always communicating with each other. I mean, isn't she amazing?
Oh, Ella.
As mentioned, she is a wonderful couch companion. As you can see, we have a couch.
She loves Netflix.
Oh, look at
She
her.
loves
She
Netflix,
does.
but she would settle for HBO,
Yes,
Amazon,
yeah.
Prime.
Disney Plus, we're all open to that.
Yeah, no, it's not called TCS, MediaCorp.
MediaCorp, yes, thank you.
Yeah, but I mean, I think there are some basic questions as well that people have about the adoption process. How? Thanks. Okay. Shu Huang asks, what modifications to one's home are already needed to foster cats, considering I already have one? I believe that Helene briefly went into this just now. If your home is already meshed, then that's fantastic.
Yes.
I also did want to ask you about this, Helene. So, a lot of people feel that if you're living in a landed property or if you're living on the first floor, for example, in some of the older HDB flats, it's not necessary to mesh. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, that's a really hard one. And you know why it's hard for me? Because we're lucky enough we're living in a landed property. I've got my own cats. I won't tell you the number because it's a bit embarrassing. And my cats are able, our cats I should say, are able to go into our garden. So it would be very bad for me to say to another family, you have to mesh, and they come to my house and my cats greet them at the front gate.
Yeah.
But we would say initially we would ask for meshing and to make sure that they are confined. We never let cats go to new homes without that. It could be over a period of time, and I've had this with a couple of adopters. Then they started to take the cats outside on a lead, for example.
Right.
And essentially they train them to just be in the garden. All of my cats I always make sure are home. They never really go outside the front gate.
Right.
But I make sure that they're all home and they're inside of an evening. We don't want cats to go wandering. We don't want them to get into fights.
Right.
We don't want them to disappear. So it's really important. So in answer to the question, the modifications, even if it is on the lower level, we would still ask for the meshing to be done.
Okay.
And then, particularly if you're a fosterer, we have to make sure that all our foster kittens are safe and ready to go to their beautiful new homes.
Right.
If you're an adopter, it is a little bit open, but we still definitely want it meshed at the beginning. You may then start to open it up. She's amazing.
That's fantastic. I'm trying not to touch her either, also because I just touched Kelly. But yeah, okay. And of course, the questions was how do I prepare to receive a cat to my home? And as Helene mentioned, get some toys. If you want, you can get a bed. The cats will sleep anywhere. They might sleep anywhere but the bed, but you can if you like. And also cat food. Cat food, of course, very important.
There actually is a cat food question from one of the viewers. Ryuko is asking, and I think this would be useful for Andreas to answer. What do I feed cats, and how much do I feed them? Let's start with Ella first specifically. What does Ella like eating?
I mean, I give her wet food in the morning a can and in the evening a can. I mean, at the beginning it took me quite a while to find out which wet food she likes.
Right.
So it's like, you give one, she goes, smells, goes away. And I said, okay, maybe you're not hungry, I let it a bit. But then she doesn't eat, then I just take it away and give her something else.
I see.
So I have to try a bit.
So one can in the morning and one can at night. What were you saying, Andreas?
Sorry.
No worries, it's okay. Once again, I think this is a testament to how curious Ella is and how quick she is to adapt to a new environment. As Helene mentioned, sometimes a lot of cats, they can start off really shy and go like, oh, I don't want to explore this house. Not Ella. That's not a problem.
It's definitely that she walks me and not I walk her. So it's when I want to go left, she want to go right. Then I go right, then she turns and I go straight.
It's a bit like our dog, I have to say. Our dog walks us.
So also, I mean, just an answer to Ryuko's question as well. So I mean, a lot of the times when you get cats from a pet shop, You don't know what their preferences are. You don't know what they want to eat. But these cats are having been taken care of by Project Luni, by their fosterers. They can tell you exactly what they like.
Can.
So you skip all that essentially getting to know each other, and then you essentially have people who will be supporting you throughout your adoption journey. As Helene already mentioned just now, Project Luni stays and supports the adopter throughout your time with your new kitty. So please don't worry about having resources. These people will tell you exactly what you need to do to make your kitties comfortable. If you need to mesh your home, Project Luni can tell you where to get it meshed.
We can.
Or we will also be introducing a cat expert later who actually provides these services to make your new cat absolutely comfortable, and she will be joining us in just about half an hour. But in the meantime, once again, if you'd like to adopt this beautiful, beautiful baby, okay, so she's negative for feline leukemia. As far as we know, she's a very healthy and very curious little 2-year-old cat. And now she's going over the sofa.
She's going to do some burrowing. All right, so the QR code is going to come on now for Ella, our little explorer. So if you like to adopt her, that's Ella. We do have 4 more cats though, so we're going to move on to our next kitty, which is
we can get Ella out
Lily.
from the couch.
Lily's coming on once Ella finds her way out. And a quick shout out right now to our sponsor. Now you can hear us perfectly clearly thanks to our sound equipment sponsor, Sennheiser. They've been loaning us all the lapel mics and on-camera microphones since season 1. So thank you very much to Sennheiser for that. We really appreciate their support and their partnership with us here on Project Adopt Live. And now we're bringing in our next kitty, which is Lily.
Lily.
Come on over, Lily.
Come on in. At some point, Ella might show up, but don't worry about that.
And I'm going to make another point about Ella. She's actually sterilised as well. So
yes,
sterilised, immunised, microchipped.
Oh, wow.
So, and that's a very common question we have. Do I have to pay for this? Do we have to? We make sure that all of our cats, unless they're tiny kittens, are certainly sterilised, like gorgeous Lily here, who's only 6 months.
And just a follow-up question from some, Kelly is also sterilised and immunised and microchipped.
Yes, yep.
Right.
All of those things really important.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
so fantastic. Once again, if you adopt from Project Luni as opposed to getting a cat from a pet shop, they are sterilised, immunised and microchipped. And of course, you can find out exactly what they like, what food they like, how to make them comfortable in the house. And so it's really like you really skip a lot of that getting to know each other phase, and you go straight to the loving of your new family member.
Yes.
Speaking of which, we also do hope you consider Lily
Lots of curious cats here
Lily's
today.
very playful. Lily's a bit younger than Ella. Ella's about 2 years old. Lily's only about 6 months old, right?
She is, yes. Yes, she was actually just recently found. Caroline is a newer one of our fosterers,
Hi,
so
Caroline.
we definitely have to talk about fostering. So,
fantastic.
and so she's 6 months old. She was sterilised about 2.5 weeks ago. She is, as you can tell, she's extremely cuddly. She's extremely curious.
Look at her go.
She has done a great job here today. Yes, she's so funny.
She's very playful.
She's extremely playful.
And there's a note here that it's she's probably great with other animals if you already have pets, right?
Yes, and that's a whole other process that we love to help people with at Project Luni. Is a common question, if we haven't already had it from the viewers, how do we integrate if we have an existing cat?
Right.
So a lot of people out there have got a cat, an older cat or a 2 or 3 year old cat, and they're thinking about another. And so it is a slow process for integration. She's extreme. She's so funny. She was actually abandoned. Yeah, so it's really sad, and we were lucky again that Caroline could just foster her straight away. And what happened from when you got her at home? She just...
I could not keep her. She had one night where she was contained up, but she was so confident and so playful that she was straight out and exploring.
She's really interested with the technicians here, and which is great.
No, it's, once again, as Helene mentioned, we have lots of really confident cats in the house today. So if you're looking for cats without a long adjustment period, I would say that Lily definitely
Lily
looks
is
like
perfect.
I think Lily's one of those cats that probably doesn't need to have a few days in a room, a confined room. We've noticed we've got some other kittens here today, and whilst they have got FELV, so they can't mix, she's not hissing, she's not stressed.
Right.
I think she'd be a really good candidate to go into another home.
And if you want to lose a bit of weight,
Yes, yeah.
I mean, it definitely seems that Lily, if you want to chase her for cuddles, she will help you burn a few calories.
She does get very cuddly, but I think right now she's got very excited.
She's
by
been a
her
bit of a
around.
mood, isn't she?
All new.
Oh, she's okay.
Oh, let her roam for a bit.
Please give our foster here a bit of a break and consider adopting Lily. I mean, other details about Lily that you might want to know is that she is, as mentioned just now, she has been vaccinated, immunized, and microchipped.
Yes.
And also, as Helene mentioned, most of them actually also dewormed and treated against fleas and mites.
Oh,
So
yes.
you don't have to worry about bringing parasites into your home. They are absolutely clean. So 3 C's for Lily today: clean, curious, and cuddly. It's the ultimate cat combo. So
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
you might really want to think about taking her home. In the meantime, we would also like to take this opportunity while Lily's taking a bit of a wander break to thank our one of our sponsors, which is Cactus SG, that's with a K, for sponsoring the videography and multicam live stream services, an example of which you are watching right now. So please feel free to hit them up for any of your camera or streaming needs.
You actually get to see Cactus's studio because Lily's been taking you on a tour of it.
Yes,
As she's
exactly.
going around. This is a really wonderful space, folks. For any of your events, if you'd like to host a virtual event, or if you'd like to be filming anything, the studio is a wonderful space.
And if your interviewees are kind of restless and they like to run around, please don't worry. We have actually our live stream services which can keep up with even the most restless of interviewees. As you can see.
It has been amazing how they've been able to follow her. hasn't it?
It's been absolutely great. Could we maybe just there we go. So once again, yes, we have the very cuddly, curious, and clean Lily. And if you'd like to adopt her, please do feel free to send in your questions. We will once again be flashing the QR code on the screen. Okay, so Reuven says that, okay, I'm keen to adopt as a first-time pet owner. Is there anything that I need to take note of? Thanks very much for joining us, Reuven. We will be continuing to share more information about being a first-time pet owner, thanks to our experts from Project Luni. And now we have Helene, and she's joined by, I didn't quite get your names, I'm so sorry.
I'm Jenny. This is my daughter Sparky.
Jenny and Sparky.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Jenny and Sparky. Thank you so much. So once again, we're being joined by some wonderful fosterers from Project Luni with our next kitty of the day. Could you introduce your kitties, please?
So these are brothers. This is BB-8
BB-8.
and this is C-3PO.
Oh, it's the Star Wars series.
That's their brother. And that's R2-D2.
R2D2.
Should we take R2D2?
Okay. Maybe we can get Seth, could we get a close-up on R2D2 as well? So if you're a big fan of Star Wars, or in general just a big fan of cats, please do consider adopting these lovely brothers. They're all siblings. They're all brothers.
And they're only 12 weeks old. Look at them. They're tiny.
They are remarkable, and they were just sleeping, so but hopefully they'll go back to sleep or they'll play, but maybe not as much as Lily. And it's a really good thing to point out. So these, oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, sorry.
These boys are 12 weeks old, and so
my
obviously a bit
goodness.
smaller than Lily. But you know, Lily, as you can tell, is still acting. She's still a kitten, and so that's why she's been a bit active today. And these guys, I think you want to go over to Jenny
They
here.
are beautiful. Look at
Oh my
them.
God, look at their
They are
coats.
amazing, aren't they?
Yeah, they are so fluffy.
Now these guys came from a hoarding situation, which is it happens quite a bit. People will try to help as much as possible and then find themselves a little bit overwhelmed. And there's some amazing groups out here in Singapore that really help with that as much as possible, like Cat Welfare Society. There are a number of them. So we heard about this situation. Jenny's one of our long-term, 18 months, but I can't imagine the number of kittens that Jenny and her family have fostered.
Oh my goodness,
so she's
thank
been
you so much.
Absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
I know.
This is 21 in total.
21, yes.
No,
Yeah.
that's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay. So we really don't want to break Jenny's streak of adopting out her cats. So please do lend a hand here. Once again, these three are siblings. So Jenny and Helene and Sparky, I wanted to get your perspective on, do you think that you would like them to be adopted together? Or?
That would be the dream for them all to go together because they are FELV kittens, so they're very bonded, and it would just be nice for them all to stay together.
Wonderful.
And then people would get a ready-made kitten family.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Yes, and I think, Helene, the last time you were on the show, I think we also talked about how if, of course, in exceptional cases where the cats are FELV positive, then sometimes they do need to be adopted into families without other cats.
Correct.
But otherwise, you do a lot of the time prefer for cats to be adopted as a pair or
Yes.
into an existing household which already has a cat that is either, in this case, FELV positive, and so that they can provide companionship for each other.
Yes.
So in general, it is actually an ideal situation to adopt cats in pairs
Yes.
or into homes which already have other cats.
It's a really, really key thing. So we often get that question. And so with those people who, if they haven't spoken with us before and they're talking about adopting, they might see that we have a litter of kittens and they say that they just want one. And we always do ask, do you have other cats or other animals at home? It's rare that we would say that it would be okay to adopt a kitten by itself to a family, particularly if the family is working and they don't have, children at home to play, because the kittens that they're playful, they're bonded, and ultimately it is less work to have two kittens than one, and I can speak from experience.
Definitely, yeah.
They keep each other entertained, you don't have to worry about them. You can see how bonded these guys are. I mean, we're separating at the moment. And in this instance, as discussed, it's a little bit different with Kelly because it appears that she contracted FELV when she was older as an adult. These guys, they have had an initial test which is showing that they are most likely to have it. And if someone is interested, we would obviously go into a lot more detail with them. And we would hope that they'll get to 2 or 3 years old. It could be a little bit older, it might be a bit less, but it's a little bit like we try and encourage people to adopt some older cats because every cat deserves a chance. So yes, it is devastating if they're not going to live till 16, 17, we know that. But they are amazing. They're like any other kitten out there. They have no symptoms at all. They're not remotely sick. They need to have a wonderful home. Hopefully someone out there sees how magical they are, can see that they get on famously, they're no trouble, and they'd give them the most beautiful home. Whether it's for a year, 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah. They're very, very friendly. They love anybody that they meet. They've had
and look,
problems
it's
with
just, this
everyone.
is remarkable over here.
It's just
Just
like,
the most casual, easygoing. Probably some viewers out there are saying, oh my gosh, that looks like it could be a Maine Coon. We don't know. And honestly, we don't really care. All cats are beautiful, whether they're the most domestic, short-haired, common looking tabby or the most exotic. And at Luni, we rescue them all. So we really don't mind. That they are special, they are bonded.
Yeah, wonderful. I can barely see the one you have against your black t-shirt, just the eyes.
I know, right? It was not the ideal colour to wear.
He's perfectly camouflaged.
But they are absolutely adorable. Once again, as you can see, they are such affectionate, such loving cats. They're very mellow in their descriptions.
Mellow.
Yeah, they're very mellow. So if you are looking for a cuddle buddy, these are ideal cats to have. Once again, they have been tested positive for FELV, but they are not manifesting any symptoms yet. So what we often like to tell people is that when you go to a pet shop, you really don't know you don't know what conditions or illnesses the cat or dog comes with. The wonderful thing about adopting is that all the groundwork has been done for you. So if you go to a pet shop, you buy a cat, they could very well have conditions which not allow them to live past a few months. In this case, we have Project Luni with 3, in fact 6 today, wonderful, wonderful cats and kittens that they already know exactly about whatever medical conditions they have, they know what food they like, they know like what their habits are, like these kitties obviously love being cuddled.
Goodness.
So,
Wow.
and of course they can support you every step of the way. Reuven, just now you were saying you want to be a first-time pet owner. Thank you so much for wanting to do that. Thank you for watching our stream and thinking about adopting, not shopping, which we think is very, very important. And of course, Project Luni will support you every step of the way if you were to adopt any of the kitties today. As we mentioned just now, to become a first-time pet owner, especially for cats, if you stay in an HDB flat or any essential condominium that is not landed property, highly encourage you to mesh your windows. Even if you do stay in landed property, do think about meshing at least for the first part of your adoption process, so that the cat's sort of used to the place and won't like be stressed and jump out the window, because that's not something that
absolutely, if they're on a floor, other than I said, I'd be a bit pot calling the kettle black, but certainly for any floor that we definitely would have to have that. And people do question it, but there are just too many accidents that happen.
That's definitely fair. And right now, to thank all of you for watching, we are giving away a prize sponsored by Yeppy Pets. This is our first giveaway question. So fingers ready on the keyboard. It will be fastest fingers first. Type the answer into the Facebook comments. Our question for our first giveaway is, what is the name of the animal welfare group featured in today's live episode? We said it a million times, it feels like. And it just appeared on your screen just now. What is the name of the animal welfare group featured right here, right now? And type the answer into the Facebook comments. Fastest fingers wins.
And in the meantime, while we're waiting for the answers to come in, maybe let's just check out our... Oh my gosh, are they going back to sleep?
They're all sleeping.
TV.
My goodness!
Oh, he's watching TV. It's like, I'm on
Mind
TV,
you, it
Mom.
looks like I'm just waving my hands around because you can't even see that there is a special one here.
Maybe we can get Seth to do a close-up on this one, because he's very well camouflaged. You can just see like
oh my goodness.
Oh, baby!
Oh, wow.
Hello.
So cuddly, right?
So cuddly. And do they
playful.
all have different coloured eyes?
No, they all have their orangey.
They all have their orange eyes.
Oh,
I can't
that's
tell with this
beautiful.
one, 'cause-
But they're all, yes,
That's so beautiful.
they're all different though. You've silky black one. This one's got a freckly face.
freckly face.
And then
this
you've got the
one's-
lion mane on.
Oh, a bit of a mane there going, yeah?
So, I mean, I think as Helene mentioned just now, we highly encourage you to adopt in, especially for these siblings, in pairs at least, if you can spare some room in your home. And as Helene mentioned, it's actually less work to adopt a pair of cats or 3 cats, especially if they're bonded this way.
It is, and we're not just saying that. It is absolutely less work, and you also don't have the worry. At the moment, I've got a 4-year-old cat that I'm looking after that was abandoned in a pretty horrible way. And I'm always so worried about him that he doesn't have anyone to play with right now. Whereas when I have 2 or 3 or 5 or 6, then they have got each other. And of course we do a lot of caring for them, but it is best if they are together. It's good for their social skills, for their development. They're a lot happier, calmer cats.
Right.
And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
And it also does cut down the stress for the owner as well, if the cats are happy and calm, because they're playing with each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. And they can do their kind of scratching and playing with each other rather than your sofa.
Yes, exactly.
That's much more useful. It's true.
It is very important.
So you may have a little bit extra cost with the food. And going back to some of those great questions we've been receiving, yes, we know the food that they like. They all like different things, and we can give all that advice. We can tell you where to get it. We can tell you where some of the great prices are. So all of that legwork's really cut out for you.
Wow,
and
that is so helpful.
Yeah.
And how long have you been doing this, Helene? How long has Project Luni been around for?
Well, Project Luni, and this is terrible, isn't it? Because it's been at least, I think, 4 or 5 years, and I should know a little bit more about that. But I joined about a year ago, and it sort of boots in. And but yeah, we've been doing it for some time, and it was started off by a couple of people who have had a love for cats, and they did this in Hong Kong, Nina and Lucas, and then the team have grown. Oh my gosh, yeah.
So you've been doing this for 5 years, so since 2016, right?
Well, Luni has been. I've been here for quite some time in Singapore, about 18 years, and I've sort of rescued by myself, but it's much better to work with an amazing network like Luni. It's got a great reputation, and we have you know, a lot of people know the good work that is being done and know our intentions.
No, and absolutely, and thanks to all the fosterers like Jenny and Sparky who have fostered to date 21 cats.
Wow, and look at how happy they are.
Look at how happy this one is.
Oh, look,
She's gone to sleep.
This one's now woken up.
spent a lot of time like,
So once again, they are cuddly, they are really curious, and if you can find space, and I'm just honestly, it is economies of scale. Like you get one cat, you really have to spend a lot of effort entertaining the cat, because these cats, as you can see, they love their human contact. They will want to hang out with you all the time. So if you do want to occasionally do things like your own work at home, or just whatever it is, like play games, whatever, then it is a wonderful idea to actually spend a tiny bit more on more feed and adopt them either as a pair or as a trio. And Helene, actually, you were mentioning that for cats like this, like if the household already had another FELV positive cat, then of course you would consider them for adoption as well.
We would love that.
Right.
We would absolutely love that, and we would do everything we could to assist with the integration and the process. And it does happen. And these guys, it's really unfortunate. They're really just victims. They were, they were born into an unfortunate situation. They've got sick,
we've had them since they were 3 days old.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, they've had a rough time being given away at 3 days old.
Oh no, poor baby, separated from the mother.
And what's really sad is the mother potentially has been kept. She's probably pregnant again. She's probably going to have more kittens again.
Right.
And we desperately need that situation to stop as much as possible. And so Project Luni, along with many of the other animal welfare groups out there, are trying their best to help. But just we need to be alerted in these situations, and we'll do what we can ensure we get cats sterilised. And you started with some of the pillars of the things we do. So we do the feeding, we do the trap neuter release, we do the sterilisation, medical care, and fostering.
That's wonderful.
So we're going to move on now because we've got more prizes to give away. This is our second giveaway question, sponsored by Yappy Pets. At Yappy Global Pets, they believe that a healthy pet is a happy pet, and a happy pet can help us enjoy a much more fuller and enriching life. So once again, a shout out to Yappy Pets for generously sponsoring the adoption starter kits and the giveaways for all of season 3. So our second giveaway question by Yappy Pets at Yappy Pets on Facebook and Instagram is, in what year was Project Luni founded? We just mentioned this just now.
So to do a bit of maths.
Yes, so a bit of a clue. They've been doing this for about... All right, so which year is that? Okay, so fastest fingers first, and you'll be getting some wonderful prizes from Yappy Pets. So Joe's furiously checking right now.
Yes, once again, and of course, if you've met all our beautiful kitties today, we have the trio of R2D2, BB8, and C3PO.
It's the Star Wars series.
Star Wars series. I mean, if you don't like the names, honestly, cats don't really respond to their names very much, so you can probably change.
And it's a question we often get. Are we allowed to change the names when we adopt? Yes, you are.
Because honestly, they don't care. They really don't. You can change the names and everything.
And we've got an update on Ella.
Oh, yes.
She's still under the sofa.
Oh!
Ella is still under the sofa. By the way, we would eventually like to pull her out too. Just show her to our viewers. Once again, we have our Star Wars trio right here. We also have Ella under the sofa. She was a really talkative, sweet little couch cat that was sitting so quietly on the couch with Andreas just now. And we also have Lily.
Let's not forget Lily and Kelly.
Yes, Lily and Kelly. So we have, of course, our Star Wars trio, and we have Kelly, and they are FELV positive. But once again, that does not mean that they will not have many, many years of symptom-free, happy, healthy life. And we really want those to be in the company of a family who loves them, and Project Luni will support you every step of the way for whatever care that you need. They can introduce you to vets that they trust. They can tell you how to care for FELV positive cats because they have done it for years. And honestly, the symptoms, they don't always, they can be actually quite mild, and some cats, they fight them off completely. So please, please, please give these kitties a chance. Please open up your hearts and homes to them. And of course, we also have our kitties, Lily and
Kelly?
Lily and Ella, who are not FELV positive as well. So just make sure that we don't to mix these cats, because they can pass illnesses on to each other. But otherwise, they are a collection of wonderful kitties. We will be having the QR code being flashed on the screen. If you're interested to adopt any of them, please, please, please give these abandoned cats a forever home.
So thank you very much.
One request is, if you're not able to look at adoption right now, because you think that you may not have the time, or that there may be travel coming up, let's hope in the future, perhaps you might like to contact us to do the type of work that Jenny has been doing, that Caroline, that Andreas, that Sherry have been doing, myself. We also have one of our other fosterers here, Megan. So we need to grow our network. We need to rescue as many cats out there as possible and get them off the streets and get them into wonderful homes. So
under,
to do
under
that,
the couches and on couches.
we would love to have some fosterers. So
Because Project Luni does not have a shelter, right?
we do not know, so we rely on our volunteers. So please reach out to us. So get on Facebook, get on Instagram, write to us, let us know if you're interested. We'd love to take you through the journey. It's not a huge commitment, and you make such a difference to the lives. Look at what Jenny and Sparky have done here.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely. And Ruben, just now you mentioned that you're a first-time pet owner. If you did want to just sort of like try out and see whether you'd be interested to commit to adopting a cat and you're not sure whether you can right now, do think about fostering. The wonderful thing about fostering is that the shelter really gives you all the support. They say, here, take this, and then they even like give you equipment and they talk you through how to take care of the cat. So that's something you might want to try.
Yeah, we'd love that. So please contact us.
Thank you, Helene.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Helene. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Sparky. And thank you to all our wonderful fosterers today. We hope that Ella comes out from under the couch soon. She will, we're very sure. But in the meantime, I think it's time to move on to our next guest for today, who will be joining us virtually. Isn't
That's
that right?
Helene has actually lived in Singapore for a really long time, but she's back home right now, a little far away in Canada, on the other side of the world. But she's still working with her team here in Singapore because she owns a cat consultancy called CityZenCats, and it's a cat behavior consultancy. So let's welcome to the show, Helene.
Elaine, hi Elaine. Thank you so much for joining us today. Hi. So,
hi
for
Joe,
our viewers
hi
out
Edward, hi everyone.
Hello, hi. So for our viewers out there, please don't be confused. We have Helene, who is currently based in Singapore, who is a member of Project Luni, and we have Helene, who is a wonderful cat communication expert, and she's currently based back in Canada, but with her company also based in Singapore to help you with all your kitty needs. So Elaine, thank you so much for joining us today. We're just going to give you a brief introduction to all our viewers out there about your company, CityZenCats. That's City, like Singapore City, Zen, like Zen, and Cats, all right? It's a cat behavior consultancy, and it draws from Elaine's 40 years of cat experience to help you solve your cat behavioral problems, enrich your cat's home environment, present strategies to keep your cat safe, and better understand your cat. So for all the potential owners who are asking just now about what do I need to prepare, how can I cat-proof my home, actually CityZenCats is on hand to help you if you want to do any of that. They're professionals and they can come into your home and do all the adjustments for you. Elaine herself has lived in Singapore for 20 years before relocating back to Canada, and and cats have been her lifelong passion. She's actually written a book about cats, so she is the authority, and several short stories about cats that she started writing about since she was 11 years old. And of course, CityZenCats was created to educate owners on cat behavior, safety, and catification of the house to ensure that your cats are ultimately the most happy and safe they can be, as well as to prevent unwanted behaviors which might inconvenience their owners as well.
First question we'd like to ask you, Ellen, is what is one of the biggest problems that cat owners face when they come to you?
Okay, it's usually being inexperienced with cat and trying to understand cat and what's actually going on with the behavior. And it's mostly when people are trying to integrate cats together. So they often have an existing cat in their home, like we've talked a lot about that subject earlier today. So a cat gets adopted and they're trying to integrate it with the existing cat. And they run into trouble, and sometimes they don't interpret things correctly, and they get ahead of themselves and do things that they shouldn't and make the situation actually worse. So I work hand in hand with different organizations such as Project Luni to try to ensure that this process goes well and that the cats that have been adopted don't get returned to the organization that have, So that's a big reason why people contact me. So it's usually for aggression or what they think is aggression or true aggression, and it's also for issues like peeing outside the box, anxiety, not responding well to their environment.
Could we talk a bit about aggression right now? Because that's something that there are a lot of misconceptions around. Could we talk a bit about that?
Yes. So most people try to, the moment they see a behavior such as hissing, they usually say, oh, my cat is being aggressive. So then they tend to stop the process. So because they're scared of what could happen. So this is really the biggest issue, is trying to differentiate and trying to explain and trying to read the body language correctly, and then coaching people to get through that phase. So hissing actually is a bit social distancing for cats. That's how I like to define it. So there's many different shades of hissing. So you have to really understand the context in which the cat is hissing in order to understand what's going on. So I did prepare like a video, a short video of 30 seconds, if you want to have a look at an example of one of the multiple shades of hissing. So this is a rather mild case of a cat, a new cat, which you will see on the right side, who is being introduced to an older cat, the resident cat, who's a older lady, who's more standoffish. So prior to this introduction, there was a proper introduction of several days or weeks, which is absolutely necessary anytime you integrate animals and anytime you integrate cats together. But we haven't been able to get through that phase, and therefore this family contacted me to try to integrate these two cats. So you will see on the video something that should not be interpreted as aggression, but which is totally part of the language that cats need to communicate to one another. Right. So is it ready, the video? Yeah.
Is it video 1, just to confirm?
Yeah, the one, number one,
Can you
yes.
play video 1, please? Thank you so much. So what you're saying, Helene, is that sometimes as part of the process, they will actually try to set their own boundaries by hissing, so they're not.
Absolutely. So the lady there, on the black lady there, is going to hiss twice because she's a little bit tentative about the other cat, and the other cat is young and a little bit foolish. And he's trying, and you saw the movement of the cat, kind of goofy. Yeah. She did not expect that movement from the cat, and therefore she hissed. Because she has not learned to appreciate this cat, to really understand this cat, that this cat is not foe, that this cat could be a friend. She hasn't learned completely to be comfortable with the cat. So any movement from the other cat will trigger a hissing. So basically she's saying, hey, whoa, I'm not ready. Can you please keep your distance? I need to see you a little bit more and supervise you a little bit more until I decide that space can be broken. So this is what the hissing means in this case.
Right. And I believe you have 2 other examples to show us as well about when the hissing and the behavior can be something else.
Yes. So the second example, the second video is, there's a concept. These cats have an established relationship. So I picked an example of 2 cats who are integrating. And the second example is an existing relationship. Right. So there is such thing as what we call time sharing with cats.
I see.
So that's video number 2.
I see.
Let's take a look at video number 2.
Shall we take a look at video number 2 and you can explain?
So video number 2 is 2 cats who are negotiating a favorite spot in the house. So the one on the right side is actually, she's actually kind of like stolen the favorite spot of the cat on the left.
Oh dear.
And there's hissing and it looks like aggression and they're swatting at each other and they really mean it. But this is actually friendly negotiation between cats. Right. And it's called time sharing. So cats have agreements. They have agreements. Okay, I'll share this spot with you from this time to this time. But then I want this spot only to myself. But in this case, there was a swap and there was a disagreement. Hey, you broke the rule. This is supposed to be my spot, not yours. And the other cat is like, no, I'm not going to let you have the spot. I want to keep it today. So this is time sharing negotiation.
I see.
So there's nothing to be worried about this kind of swatting and hissing.
I see.
And for some people, that could look like aggression, but it's not.
So if an owner sees this type of behavior play out, we should just leave, as humans who don't know anything, we should just let the cat sort it out amongst themselves.
Totally, yes. Yes,
I
we should
see.
not interfere. Yes.
That's really
Or
interesting.
we should talk to them softly.
Right. Okay.
So
okay.
not bring in our body language and any voice which is, no, don't do this, because that kind of fuels this. And we want them to resolve this on their own at that stage.
That's fascinating, because you mentioned just now that sometimes owners who are introducing new cats into the household to their existing cats, they can jump the gun and actually make the relationship worse between the cats because of their own fears or their own behaviors, doing things like shouting or trying to pull them away from each other, for example.
Yes.
I see. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
so basically, cats don't do very well with negative behavior and with punishment. They don't do well at all. So we have to try to invite them to do something else and reward them positively for that.
I see. And maybe I think you have a third video, Helene. Maybe should we look at that so we can see different
The
types of
third
behavior?
video is two cats who don't know each other yet. So that is part of an integration, and it's gone a little bit further than the integration. The cats are kind of roaming together, but the resident cat is still very standoffish, and the other cat, the new cat, is a dog cat who is. So you will see, the resident cat is in the box.
I see.
Can you hear all the screaming?
We are not getting the audio on our side, but I think our viewers are.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Okay. So should owners get worried now?
Well, here's the situation. So I talked about context all the time. So the situation here is that the cat who's the resident cat, who's still standoffish and wants to practice social distancing with the new cat, put herself in a position in a box where she's locked in. So the new cat, who's a bit, more into meeting up really fast, position himself right at the only entrance and the only exit of that door, of that box. So it puts the cat, who's not feeling still very secure about this relationship, in a spot where
I see. Right.
Sorry, Helene, we're just going to interrupt you for a while. Our stream is just a little interrupted, so we are just going to take a pause and pick up where we left off once everything's back.
We'll talk about the box situation again because the stream just cut out, so we're trying to restore it.
Okay.
Okay, we're back. Sorry for that technical interruption, folks. We were just, if you've just joined us, we're talking to Helene, who is a cat behavior expert, and she runs a consultancy called CityZenCats. And she was talking about the importance of when introducing cats that there shouldn't be a box around, right?
When introducing one new cat to the household, like do not have like boxes or other enclosed little containers around, because she just showed us a video where it's possible for one cat to feel trapped inside the container where it's in one, trapped by the other cat. Is that right, Helene? Maybe we'll just get you to elaborate on that.
Yes, that's correct. So a box with only one entrance and exit is really a trap for a cat who feels not so confident about a situation with another cat. And another cat who's a little bit more like very confident can position itself right at the exit, the only exit, and block that cat. And then that creates a kind of situation we saw in the video. So likewise, for a cat litter box, I always recommend when you introduce cats together, not to have a top. Remove the top of the litter. Keep your box open, your cat box, the litter box open. Why? Exactly because you could find yourself, the cat could find itself exactly in the same situation.
Oh dear.
And if it does, that cat may choose not to pee in the box anymore, but do it outside because it feels threatened.
I see.
So these are all like really important tips to know when you do the integration of cats that are very different.
Right, and even if we're not integrating cats that are different together, even if, for example, somebody's a new adopter or a new cat owner and they find that the cat is defecating just outside the litter box, do you think that behavior might also be caused by cats worrying about being trapped inside it?
Okay, not necessarily. There can be other factors that would make a cat pee outside a box or poo outside a box. And it's usually related to anxiety, and it's often driven by the environment. Now, the environment can be several things. It can be caused by the humans. It can be caused by another cat who's increasing a bit of pressure. Sometimes we don't see these things with our own human eyes, but sometimes a cat in the house may increase a little bit of pressure on one cat, and that cat is not coping very well, and there are strategies to help that cat.
Wonderful.
Sometimes it can be there's big changes in the house. Some members of the family have moved out. That can trigger some anxiety in a cat. Too much movement in and out, guests coming in. These are all situations that represent the environment and could trigger a cat to pee outside the box.
I see.
Oh dear.
I think at this point we'd like to just reach out to our viewers as well. Since we have Helene with us, why not take advantage of a virtual presence? And if you've got any questions about cat behavior, if you've any cat concerns, feel free to drop them in our comment section below, and we will ask them to her. In the meantime, another common question I understand is, Helene, how do you prevent a cat from peeing on the couch after cleaning the couch or after cleaning the cat? I mean, it seems to be quite common behavior.
Yes, but to prevent a cat from repeating peeing, there is several things. So I talked about the environment. So we've got to figure out the cause. What is the cause? And that comes to a little bit of detective work. So that's another reason why I have so many people consulting me, because they're wits' ends and they really cannot figure out what it could be. So then we have to look at many factors in the environment. One of them, which is not usually number one, is that some cats are not comfortable with the location of the litter, the litter box itself, or even the substrate that you put inside the litter. So we have to try to determine if that could be that reason or one of these reasons. And another reason, it could be another cat, as I said. So you mentioned peeing on the couch. So that leads to another issue. Removing the urine with usual household products will make the urine stronger to the cat nose. So we may not smell it anymore, but these chemical detergent will basically fuel the crystals that are contained in cat urine. So you really have to use a specific product, which is CO2 based or with an enzyme, to clean it thoroughly. Sometimes it requires several applications, especially when it's on a couch and it goes inside the fabric.
Wow, okay.
Oh my goodness.
So you cannot reset your home until you are very sure that the crystals in the urine is completely gone. Then you can start resetting. So it's quite a process that I go through with my customers in playing detective work, analyzing and having several strategies, and then trying to figure out what it is. And usually environment enrichment will help these cats who have these difficulties with peeing outside the box. And as I said, it could be the culprit could also be a cat who's increased a little bit of pressure on that particular cat. So for example, in the course of an introduction, that can happen.
Right. And Helene, I mean, you mentioned that while you're based in Canada, you do have a team in Singapore who will go into go and meet different people, meet the cats, and help to solve these issues. Can you tell us a little bit about, for example, if I were to engage you because I have a cat who is not integrating well into my house or is scratching my couch non-stop, like what your team would be doing to help me with that?
Okay. So I'm actually not permanently in Canada. I'm temporarily because of COVID and my family. So I'm continue doing everything I normally do from here at the moment. In terms of behavioral consultation, I do everything via video, and it actually has worked better because some cats are really shy, and when there is a guest, they may not act normal. When on video, there's a lot of things I see because the cat just walks in, hangs out with their parents. I can watch the parents' body language. I can basically catch everything I need to see, and sometimes even better, because usually when I visit, people are on their best behavior, and often the cat is hiding under the couch. So this really happens. So you have cats who are very outgoing, and you have some cats who are not. So there are some clear advantages actually in doing this via video. So the consultations I do usually take 2 to 3 hours, and there is a process which I call the follow-up, which are the implementation phase of my recommendation with the customer.
I see.
My team in Singapore takes care of all the cat safety. So in terms of cat safety, so I have an operation. I'm the first person who brought cat safety to Singapore. I'm very experienced, and I've been doing this for 20 years.
Right.
So for cat safety, I am the point of contact for all the customers. I assess the situation with them. I make sure I know all the basics. What's the age of the cats? How many cats? Is there any furniture located close to the location we need to cat proof? Because that could play into the type of cat proofing we will do, because there's different types of cat proofing.
Yeah. Actually, Helene, maybe at the moment, I think it is a good point to ask a question that we have from a viewer. So Ryuko asks how she can cat proof if she stays in a landed property. I mean, what would you recommend about that?
That's my specialty. I love doing landed property. These are like fantastic project, very creative. So what I do very, my philosophy is to try to make an environment that is seamless. I don't like having a prison. Nobody likes to have a prison. So it's got to be like really aesthetic and very seamless. So I try to follow the contours of a garden and of a house. The material that I employ is certified cat safety certified for cats with international standards. You lose visibility only 3%, so you got 97% visibility, and with 3% your eye adjusts very quickly. So I have techniques to basically enclose part of a garden, but very seamlessly, so that you can move in and out of that space without even noticing the net after a while. That gives an amazing space for the cats and the humans to share together and experience that together.
I see. So just to clarify, so for a landed property, it might not be necessary to mesh the windows, but to mesh is essentially the area where the cat can escape. Right.
Yes.
I see.
Yes,
We have-
because the whole idea is lifestyle. You want to keep your lifestyle and you want to give that to your cats as well.
Right. Absolutely. We have many other questions, so I'm just going to get through them quite quickly. Ed, do you want to take the next one?
Oh yes,
Okay,
my
so-
goodness. So the next question is from Anne. Our new cat is hissing at our resident cat. How does she know when they're ready to meet? Currently, they're in separate rooms, separated by see-through panels and mesh. How does she know when they'll be ready to meet?
Okay, to answer that question fully, we need to know how long have they been going through this process and that they've been watching each other. I tend to prefer shorter processes because once you keep the cat apart for too long, what happens is that one cat will decide that this room is their territory, and then it becomes more entrenched.
Right.
So there is that zone there where you have to kind of coach your cat and help your cat to get through this phase. So I don't know all the details of her situation, but there could be a little bit of hissing, but it's harmless hissing. And perhaps we need to start pushing the boundaries a little bit by opening the gate, by having the cats eat in the corridor in view of one another, and slowly, after 3 days, moving the balls a little bit closer. So there's different strategies like this. When I do my consultation, I'm able, when people are kind of stuck there and they're afraid and they don't know what to do, the fact that I can see the house, I can strategize with them and I can even rehearse with them on the video.
Oh, that's lovely.
So that really helps people who are unsure how to cross, how to push the boundaries to help the cats move forward.
Thank you. And we have another question from Mazzy. Mazzy says, one of my cats is picking on the younger cat. Both of them are males. I've tried reintroducing them a few times. They have different eating bowls. How can I stop the bullying? I mean, I think you will probably have to meet them, but do you have any, off the top of your head, any theories or tips?
A bully is a very, very common problem.
Oh.
Yes, that's very common. So bully cats tend to be cats that are a bit hyperactive and tend to patrol because they don't have enough to do.
Oh, dear.
So often we have to reorganize kind of like their routine and their energy around that. So a bully will need to start thinking about something else that's more positive than going after his friend, a younger one. So we've got to basically occupy the bully more and give him environmental enrichment, but also activities with the humans and the two cats together that will kind of calm that bully a bit down. And at the same time, the cat who's more shy and has a bit less self-confidence, we want to help that cat raise his self-confidence with some other techniques and strategies.
I see. Wow.
That's a great way of thinking about it. We've got more questions coming in. This is from Jamalia. Great difficulty putting the cat in a carrier when bringing to the vet or the groomer. The cat will struggle to free herself, even scratching, and then they'll hide for long periods. What are some tips for putting the cat into a carrier successfully?
And because we're running out of time, I'm also just going to ask you the second question, the last question at the same time. Isabella has a 3-year-old cat who seems keen to play with the two new kittens, but is also rather shy. How do we encourage that? And then we're just gonna let you take it away.
Okay, the first question is the carrier. So a strategy. Use the carrier and associate the carrier with something positive. For example, start feeding your cat at the entrance of the carrier. So start making that association. Put treats. So have a routine every day. You ask your cat to sit, you give treat. You ask your cat to, you make your cat enter with the treats, get the treat. So associate that space, that carrier with something positive. Another way, so I would also highly recommend using Feline spray. Feline spray is often misused, misunderstood by a lot of people, but it's a fantastic way to help cats feel a little bit more at ease. So spraying inside the carrier, okay, maybe 5-10 minutes before using it, and then doing the technique of the feeding and the tricks and doing the positive association is a great way to go. Now, about the second question was, it was an older cat with some kittens, and I'm not sure I understood the question correctly.
They were saying that the older cat seems to want to play with the 2 new kittens, but also very hesitant. How can we encourage interaction between the older cat and the kittens?
Yeah, it's been a month already.
Okay, so what you do again is you associate the fact that they're together with an activity that's positive. So again, food and play are usually on the top of the list on how to make your cat react positively to something. So you can create playtime together, and you can also create treat time together.
Oh.
So you can teach the sit, you can teach the give the paw. So that gives them an activity to bond together where they get something positive. So they have to focus on you, do something in order to get the treat, and they tend to kind of like bond together when they do that.
Right, it's like a team building exercise.
Yes, absolutely. Same thing with play. Yes.
Right. Thank you so much, Helene, for answering so many of our wonderful questions. To our viewers today, if you have any queries, you can try dropping them in the comments, or even better, why not get in touch with CityZenCats. That's at CityZenCats on their Facebook, and if you want, you can schedule an appointment with them for some professional and dedicated attention. Once again, thank you so much, Helene, for joining us all the way from Canada, and we hope that you'll be able to come back to Singapore very soon.
Yes, I can't wait. Yes, I miss Singapore. I miss Singapore terribly. Thank you so
Singapore
much. It's
misses
been
you
lovely.
too.
Yeah, we
Thank
do.
you so much, Helene.
Thanks, Helene.
Bye.
Bye.
And we're moving on to our final expert for today. We've been talking a lot about cats, but we don't want to forget about the dogs too. We have with us a dog expert, and her name is Jenifer Chua. Hi, Jenifer.
Hi, Jenifer. Thank you so much for joining us today and bringing a doggy as well. What's the doggy's name?
This is Foxy. She's actually one of our friend's dog. Yeah.
Hi, Foxy.
Well, I have to say that Foxy is very well behaved, and she's doing you very proud so far. So anyway, Jenifer, of course, is actually the founder of Motivating Canine.
Yes.
Motivating Canine offers a wide range of training services to help your fur kid be a happier, better pet. And apart from general dog training, of course, it specializes in attending to rescue dogs of all ages and rehabilitating them through motivational techniques. So no like awful punishment like Cesar Milan style punishments here. These techniques incorporate rewards and positive reinforcement to mold the dog's behavior. And of course, Jenifer Chua founded this company because of her love and passion of working with dogs after she adopted her blind dog Ray. And through volunteering, she's gathered lots of experience from dealing with dogs with various personalities, various diverse characters, and she mentored under a certified dog behavioral consultant and took up dog training courses, so that she's now an IAABC accredited dog trainer and fear-free certified professional that works with shelters, with dogs with various traumatic backgrounds to rehome the dogs under Project Adore. So thank you so much once again for joining us, Jenifer.
Thank you for the detailed description.
No problems at all. So we wanted to ask you, I mean, like your focus is on understanding dog body language, I understand, so that you can communicate better and find out what the dog needs. So can you tell us why is it important to choose the right trainer, and when should dog owners know to engage a trainer? When is the right time to do that?
There's never a wrong time. As long as you have a dog coming into your house, you should get a trainer. Okay, because different dogs has got different personality.
Okay.
And, I always advocate reactive training than proactive training instead of reactive training. That means you train before a problem arises.
That makes sense.
Don't wait until the problem arises. The behavior has been practiced multiple times already. Then you try to reverse it, it will take longer.
I
Right.
see.
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, because essentially, I think training is not so much like, as you said, it's not necessarily corrective. It's not like,
Yes.
oh no, my kid's like prelims are coming up and his math is very bad, and I have to fix the math. It's
Yes,
more
yes,
like
yes.
a way to communicate at the start between the
Exactly.
owner and the pet already.
Exactly. And when we try to teach the dog, we always teach in small steps. Like children, you teach from kindergarten 1, and then you progressively increase the steps. Yeah. So why is it important to understand canine body language? Because dogs are always communicating all the time, and if we are not able to read their body language, that's when we neglect their welfare.
I see.
Okay,
I
they are
see.
afraid they're actually communicating with you. They cannot speak.
Right.
They show through their body. And when you're unable to read it, you force them into a situation where they need to fight.
I see.
Okay,
I see.
then that's when they start to react.
Right, they start to lash out.
Yes, correct. And at every behavior, there's a function. Okay, so for example, if a dog is barking, the function is to get you to go away, to increase distance. But if the owner neglect this and doesn't understand this and think that the dog is trying to be naughty, right, and then they force the dog to approach the stimulus, the trigger, then you are forcing the dog to react. Okay, to snap or to bark or anything like that.
I see. That's really so. Actually, when we think about dog training, it's not so much just for the dog. It's for the owner and the dog to get to know each other, so that they can communicate better. So I mean, in some ways, it's helping the owner as well, not just a one-sided helping the dog.
Yes, correct.
I see.
That's why the training is usually done in the house, okay, with the owner involved.
I see.
Yeah. Okay. So then the owner can understand what is going on by reading the body language.
What's going on right now? I think he's looking for
He's
treats.
trying to go back to
He's going back there. So anyway, once again, Jenifer was very kind to bring her friend's dog here. The dog has been looking for treats and looking for the friend who's the owner. But no worries, we will bring the attention back to Doggy very soon.
And for those viewers who are watching the show right now and you're dog owners and you're like, wow, this show is all about cats. This is your chance right now to ask Jenifer about your questions about dog behavior. And you're very big on positive reinforcements. Can you tell us more about that and why, in contrast, a lot of people use negative reinforcement, it doesn't work?
Okay. Positive reinforcement, it's about rewarding the right behavior. We call it reinforcing. Okay, and reward. A lot of people think that reward means treats, and I don't want to be giving my dog treats all the time. It's gonna make it fat. But the thing is that reinforcement comes in many forms. That's why I use Motivating Canine, because we use motivation. I have clients whose dog they will do anything for you to get your paper mask.
Oh, you're so cute.
Okay, you can ask the dog to sit, lie down, anything, just to get that paper mask.
Why?
Okay? They just want it. They're not interested in the food. They want the paper mask.
Oh.
Yeah, and I have dogs that are interested in like the sticks.
Right.
Okay, dry leaf. Okay, and tissue. So all this can be used as the motivation. If you do what I want you to do, okay, you can have it. The thing's not gonna kill the dog, and maybe you just tear it apart or anything like that. Yeah, but we use motivation to encourage the dog to perform the behavior that you want.
I think that's fascinating. So what should people look out for to decide what are the motivating factors for each dog?
Different dog has got different motivators.
Yeah.
You will figure it out. Some dogs will do anything for a ball, a sticky toy. And also we have to set up the environment for success. For example, some dogs, especially rescues, they tend to be more nervous or skittish when they're outdoor.
It's true.
Okay, and if the dog is very fearful, they may not take food at all.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if they have something they love very much, like for example, I have a client whose dog goes crazy over a squeaky. You can't get his attention at all. You can call his name, he's not gonna come back to you. Okay, but the moment the squeaky turns around and comes running back to you, so we use all this to train the behavior that we want.
Our dog is like that because squeaky
Squeaky
toy.
toy loves it. Like every morning she will run straight to squeaky toy, then she'll sit there, and then her butt will be up in the air, and then she'll look at us.
So you can use this to get them to do the behavior you want, and then take it, you know, and encourage them.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what you're saying is that, I mean, even if, for example, our viewers can't necessarily maybe like afford your services at the moment, these are things they can look out for, like what their dogs are really partial to, and then like reward them by giving them access to that.
Yes, correct.
So that's hopefully that's answered your question, Ai Wei. Ai Wei was asking if my dog is not treat motivated. Wow, so rare. How do you train them?
So yes, I have clients who say that, oh, my dog is not food motivated. Then how? Okay, the thing is that we usually then encourage the training session to be during meal time. That means the meal is not presented in a bowl. Okay, the meal is presented when, okay, I get you to sit. Okay, I get you one. You know. So the meal takes about 10 minutes to complete, but through various exercises. Because dogs need to eat, is survival.
Yes.
So they will do it. Unless you say the environment is too stressful. For example, oh, I want my dog to go out and be able to do things. Okay, but the outdoor environment is too stressed for the dog, then the dog won't eat also, even if the dog is hungry.
I see.
So we have to set up the environment and everything for success. We don't want to set the dog to fail.
Of course. So what you're saying is that also, like, if it's not necessarily treat motivated, but like dogs will get hungry lah.
Yes, because
you can feed them their meal as a treat to train them to do things.
Yes, correct.
I see. Or Ai Wei also like what Jenifer was mentioning just now. If your dog is partial to other things, squeaky toys, your mask, a stick, a plastic bag.
Plastic bag.
Our dog is quite curious about plastic bags.
On the topic of food, this one is about our dog. So our main problem with our dog is that she tends to eat a lot of rubbish when she on walks.
On the walk, okay.
It can't come by. She will look down and be like, oh, she's sniffing the grass. Oh no, what's in her mouth?
It can be like anything, no. Like I've seen her come out of the bushes with a 9层, you know, the 糕点柜 in her mouth, one whole 糕点柜, like pull it out, and then or even other dogs' feces. Then she'll go for that. You know, what should we do about that?
What breed is your dog?
Multi-poo.
Okay.
She's quite senior.
So this is actually a common issue faced by many dog owners. Like when the dog is walking and they pick up chicken bones and all these things. Yeah, so actually we can train a behavior. That means when you are training at home, we always start from the home environment first, because you don't have other competing motivator to distract the dog. So at home you have to train leave it. Leave it.
Oh, leave it, I see, okay.
So the dog understands when you cue leave it, I turn away from whatever the distraction is. Okay. So when the behavior is strong and you practice at home, every time you walk past the distraction, the lure or the temptation, and you cue leave it and the dog turn away and you give from you. The reward comes from you. Right? When it is well practiced at home and you're outside, it's really built in. The moment the dog hears leave it, turn to the human, and it will be rewarded for turning back.
That's so interesting. So like I put a treat on the floor, and then I try to train the dog to leave it.
So you have to put your dog on a leash, okay, and then basically when the dog notices the item, when you're walking by, notices the item, right? Okay, you get the dog to look at you, and then
reward the dog.
Like
you want that behavior first of turning to you, and then you give the reward, right? Then eventually, once the dog understands, the more I see something, right, then you can add the cue, leave it. So it can mean that leave it equals to food. But to us, leave it means look at me. Leave that thing alone.
Whatever it takes to get there.
But to the dog, leave it means, oh, food coming.
Better food. That's great. We have a question from Ryuko. How do I tell if my dog is being aggressive? Like she sees her dog playing with other dogs at the dog park, but she also sees that sometimes the dog's hackles might stand up, and the dog will growl. Is that aggression, and should she step in?
Okay, so this is something that I prepared, right? This is easily available on the internet. You can just Google. Okay,
canine ladder of
aggression. So like I mentioned earlier, right? The dog is always communicating. So it keep communicating, and when you ignore every step, they will just keep climbing and climbing and climbing. And the last the last part is bite.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so they are always showing and showing and showing. If you keep ignoring, they'll just go to the next round, next round, next round.
Right.
So very common mistake that owners do is they ignore the growl part. This part, because they find that it's very embarrassing. How can you growl? You know, then they whack or they scold the dog. So it's like taking away the fire alarm from your alarm system.
Oh dear.
Okay, so next time the dog learns that growling does not work. I shall skip the growl. So what happens after the growl? Snapping.
Oh dear.
When the dog does a snapping, it's still trying to tell you, please go away. I really don't want to bite you. Okay, but if the dog is still forced in a situation where the air snapping does not gain distance from the trigger, then the last step is to bite.
I see.
So to address just now the question, right? If you feel that your dog is showing all the signs, remove your dog. Okay? Because actually her dog is trying to communicate, but the other dog is not getting the communication. When the other dog is not getting it as a human as the owner or handler, we should step in and help them. Don't put the dog in a situation where he has no choice but go for the bite. So what happens when a bite incident happens, right? The dog learns that I have communicated to you all the way, you don't get it, and
only the bite works.
Only the bite works. So after a bite, the dog goes away, right? Gain distance. So the dog learns that, okay, next time I shall just bite instead of trying to be courteous.
I see.
The other dog, what does the other dog learn? The other dog will become traumatized by.
I see.
So it's like a disease being passed passed. Yeah.
But then, like Ryoko, like for our dog, our dog tends to be quite aggressive, quite growly and snappy towards other dogs. So, are there any tips for how to get the dog to socialize better?
So before we do that, I'm just curious because you brought this beautiful dog here today. Should we bring the dog back into the frame?
No, it's okay. I mean, we don't want to force her into a situation. Later she can come back into the picture.
Okay.
So for socializing, do you have any tips for helping?
Okay. So if you say that your dog has already displayed the behavior whenever he or she sees another dog, the stress signals start to show, right? We have to help your dog. Okay, but there is a protocol to this. It's called counter conditioning, desensitize. Okay, so you have to purposely set up a situation, but with a distance. Okay, distance is a man's best friend. Distance is a dog's best friend. Okay, a distance where your dog notices the other dog, but still at sub threshold. Okay, I saw a dog.
Okay.
But it's far, right? I don't need to growl because it's still far. But I already noticed you. Then how do you help the dog now? So each time the dog looks at the trigger, straight away you present food. High value. Okay? Maybe the dog doesn't want to eat, so you turn away, then you keep the food. Look again, present. Okay? At some point, sometimes they will take. If the dog can take, good. If the dog doesn't take, doesn't matter. You just present and present. When the dog turns away, you keep the food again. Okay. So it's like positive pairing. The dog will eventually understand that each time I see a dog, right, it's a good thing. Good thing happen. You know? Yeah. And second thing that you can also teach the dog with that one exercise is that when I see a dog, I turn to my human. I don't need to react. They don't really want to react. You just need to tell the dog what to do. Okay, you saw a dog, come look at me.
I see,
you know,
That's very nice.
It's reinforcing. You don't have to be fearful. Then eventually, once you observe the body language, right, that the moment your dog sees the dog, turn to you, right? Then you can gradually work on closing up the distance.
I see.
Great.
That's very good advice.
I think that your advice is really striking a chord with our viewers because we've got lots of questions coming in. Michelle wants to ask her female dog marks, especially when she's outdoors, and she wants to know if that's normal.
Some dogs just like to pee more. It's actually very normal.
Our previous dog actually, she would sniff, and then when she noticed that another dog had peed
so
there,
they
then she
will
will
pee
mark
over.
it.
It's fine.
It's
actually.
normal lah.
Yeah, it's okay.
Then our next question is from Eleanor. How can I better improve dog proofing on the house? I mean, of course, she already has food and water drinking points and pee pads. How can she make the house more comfortable for the dog?
More comfortable in what sense? When the human is not around in the house, or
I'm not sure.
You want to create a wonderful bedroom? I cannot. I don't understand the question.
I see.
So
I guess her general question was like, how
Yeah.
can I just better improve dog proofing? I suppose if there's an analogy to cat proofing where you create a stress-free environment, like what would that look like?
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, I am very particular about safety. Okay. So especially if you are looking at adopting rescue dogs, or you getting a new adult dog.
Great.
I'm very particular about safety in windows, doors, because they will have a tendency to run away. Because they are not familiar yet.
Yeah.
And if it's puppies, for example, then just like small kids, they explore the world with their mouth. They pick up anything they put in their mouth. Puppies do the same thing. So you go down to the ground and scan the whole house and see what may look interesting to the puppy. You don't want to set the puppy up for failure. Yeah. Okay. So if you talk about environmental, then sometimes if a dog tends to be noise sensitive, like a bit of noise, like become alert and something. What is that? Okay, then we play dog calming music. You can actually go to Spotify. There are a lot of dog calming music. You can start to play. The tone of the music, calms them down.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
I used to do dog transport a lot, and sometimes I have a lot of I transport like very stressed dogs. In the car, I infuse like the lavender essential oil.
I see.
Okay, and I play dog calming music. It helps them. It's not a miracle drug like suddenly the dog becomes no, but it does help in a situation like that.
I see.
Actually, Jenifer, you work with a lot of dogs who are rescues, dogs who are Singapore specials, for example, who have never had owners before. And a lot of people will perceive these dogs as being difficult.
Skittish
or difficult.
Scared.
So, can you talk a bit about that?
Okay. I have special interest in rescue dogs because I feel that they are a very misunderstood breed. Whether is it stray cats or stray dogs. The reactivity or the aggression that display is actually out of fear. Okay, they are not born to like suddenly become very close to human. We actually take them off the street. Okay. Now we talk about genetics. So some you can say that, but I rescued the puppy when it was kitten, when it was young, like a puppy. But it still grew up to be skittish. Okay, we have to understand that when the mother dog is pregnant, okay, environmental. If the mother dog stays in a very stressful environment, like maybe out in the forest, when it thunder, the trees start to fall, they always can't find food, they lack of nutrition, or maybe in an industrial area where workers will kick them and shoot them, throw things at them. So they always have stress. And when they have stress, the stress hormone actually goes to the fetus. So when the puppy is born, they really are born with more stress hormone.
I see.
So it's in the genes. Okay. Yeah, but it does not mean that then we shouldn't take a mongrel,
Exactly, because lots of the breeding farms, the mothers grow up in terrible conditions as well.
So, but we can actually help them as they are growing up in a positive way. So that's why I'm also very particular about puppy foundation. Okay, because the puppies, they go through fear period in different stages of their life, where suddenly everything becomes fearful again. So I've heard of some owners say, my dog is just being stubborn, being naughty. No, actually the dog is going through fear period, and it's feeling very, very wary and fearful of that whatever trigger. It can be anything. It can be a dustbin. It can be a very tall guy, somebody in a backpack, somebody with an umbrella.
So speaking which, actually Charmaine would like to ask, my newly rescued dog is very skittish. How can I tell what he or she is afraid of?
Okay, you have to start observing everything from inside the house to outside environment. It can be sound. something that is triggered by a sound. It can be something that is triggered by visual.
I see.
Okay, but first of all, to even understand it, you must not be part of the trigger as well. Okay, because for example, you have just adopted this dog, you know, and the dog has not even really understand that this is home and you are supposed to be my caretaker. The dog doesn't understand, and perhaps the history is has been abused by human before. How the dog was caught, you know, some trappers will use rough handling methods. So the first interaction with human is rough handling. So there's a lot of factors we need to understand first before we can then zoom in. Yeah. So normally for me, if I have clients that tell me their dog need help on behavior modification, I'll actually send them 20 over pages of questions.
Wow.
So they answer as many questions as they possibly can. Then from there I can pick out, okay, I can sort of mold a picture, understand what's going on. Yeah. Right.
So if I've just adopted a rescue dog, and for example, if I've never had a rescue dog before in my home, what are some ways I can start to? Should I perhaps set a pen off a part of my house?
Ideally, yes. So basically, we are not trying to
confine the dog.
Confine the dog. We try to introduce the house in part by part, and also we it's kind of like a safety management. You don't want to let the dog make mistake, come out and start to chew things. They get nervous. They start to tear things apart.
Because they're
you
curious,
will get angry.
Right?
You know, you will get angry. You start to scold the dog. The dog will know you. Then it's harder to bridge the bond.
I see.
Right? Yeah. And in the separate area, right? The dog can also feel safe. If you are feeling unsure, sometimes you have gas. Okay, you can retreat to your safe den, your safe zone. Okay, so inside the safe zone, all good things happen. You have all your food toys, your feeding is done there, your rest area is there.
If they need to go, they can pee at the pee pad.
Okay, so usually we try to separate pee
a bit of distance lah.
Yeah, because you don't want to sleep right beside your pee.
That's true.
Okay, so it is also better, and especially if you have children, it's also another safety management. You do not want something to happen, especially children who do not understand body language. They go over and treat them like a big soft toy and hug them, and then you have a problem. So because generally dogs don't like to be hugged. I have one picture. Let me show you. I found this.
Oh no, our dog just takes it. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, they tolerate it. Yeah, they tolerate it, but it doesn't mean that they
like
actually
it.
enjoy it. Yeah. So okay, let's see. Okay, so this is a typical picture of a beagle, right? Okay, so kids.
We can zoom into. Okay, thanks.
Kids, yeah.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
Okay.
Oh dear.
So they treat them like soft toy. Oh, my dog love it. You know. And okay, look at all the stress signals.
Oh no.
Okay. The wrinkled forehead is stress signal. The pin back ears, although the beagle has got long, droopy ears, you can see from here.
That is further back
it's
in the
actually
head.
pinned back.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Whale eyes is you see a lot of white. You know, that's whale eyes. All these are stress signal and a tight mouth.
Oh dear.
Okay. So kids do not understand this. It is a human's responsibility to read all these body language.
I see.
Yeah.
And I see that you actually, Jenifer, we are running out of a bit of time.
Yeah,
but
no problem.
You actually prepared like quite a lot of like.
Yeah, it's just basically to show the body language.
Can you take us through a few of those?
Yeah. Okay. So like this one again. This is typical human. My dog loves to be hugged. They'll take picture and everything. Okay, so this
actually the expression is already very unhappy.
Right? The pin back ears, the tight mouth, the wrinkled forehead, squinting eyes. Right? Okay. So then you ask, okay, then how do I know if my dog is comfortable?
Right.
Okay. This is what you want to see.
They're now taking notes for our own dog now.
This is what you want to see. Okay. This is the owner with a dog.
Oh.
Okay. So, relaxed mouth, The ears are relaxed,
Okay.
leaning towards the human.
Right.
I see.
The tongue is actually resting.
I see.
So this is okay,
Oh, that's
right?
good.
And this one, if you have a kid that wants to be close to the dog, this is how it should do.
Oh.
Aw, so cute.
Neutral ears, relaxed tongue, leaning in.
I see.
As opposed to the mouth being very closed.
Yes,
Yeah.
because when the mouth is closed, that means they are tense already. Yeah. So this is another one, a very typical. They say, cute puppy, you know. Look at that, so cute.
Puppy stressed.
Right? So, pin back ears,
Yeah.
head turn, right? Whale eyes, tongue flick. When there's no food present and you see a dog flick the tongue, it means it's stressed.
They're trying to calm
Oh
themselves
dear.
down.
Yeah, and then leaning away.
Okay.
Yeah, so all these are
All right.
signs.
Thank
Yeah.
you so
No
much
problem.
for that, Jenifer.
Yeah.
If anybody has any other questions, please feel free to leave their questions in the comments. We can't promise to answer them, but if we can, we will definitely send them to Jenifer. But as you can see, dog training is just a wonderful way to get to know what your dog is scared of, what your dog enjoys, and to learn more efficient ways of communicating with your dog. So if you'd like, please do get in touch with Jenifer at Motivating Canine. That's one word on Facebook, and she'll be able to help you out. Thank you so much,
No
Jenifer, for your
problem.
time
Thank
today.
you for this. Yeah.
No, thank you so much. And thank you so much to our viewers for joining us today as well.
We actually have one last giveaway that will be in the chat box. That goes in the chat box. We won't be reading it out. But we also want to thank one last one of our sponsors, which is Ola's Favorites. It's nothing like feeding your fur kid a real chunk of meat. Or cartilage is good for their teeth, coat, bones, eyesight, and overall health. With food regularly sourced from local markets and suppliers, Ola's Favorites dehydrated treats and cooked food consists of 100% pure meat and single ingredients, which can provide your fur kids with essential vitamins and minerals. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram for new recipes.
That's right. And remember to look out for the last giveaway question that will be appearing in the comment sections. Again, fastest fingers first, and you will stand to actually win prizes that have been sponsored by Yappy Pets. So thank you so much, everyone, and we'll see you again for the next episode of Project Adopt Live in just 2 weeks' time. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Oh, thank you so much.